Oleksandr Usyk's manager has dropped a massive bombshell regarding Usyk's retirement plan. Now, there's an article that I'm going to go through with you guys. But before we do that, we have to put things into context. The reason why this has become a conversation whether Usyk's retiring or not retiring is because of the Agit Kabayel fight. This is why Usyk's manager has come out and talked about Usyk's possible retirement. Now, I must say this, and the truth about Usyk versus Agit Kabayel is that number one, it's either Usyk is scared of Kabayel, or number two, Usyk does not see that the Kabayel fight is commercially attractive enough for him to take that fight, because I don't think that Usyk is scared of Kabayel. So I'm leaning towards the latter. I don't think Usyk is scared of anyone. We've seen that Usyk has fought people in their own backyard. You know, he's been everywhere. He's fought everyone. He's beaten everyone. Usyk is certainly not scared of Agit Kabayel. However, I think Usyk just does not see, the commercial value in the fight against Kabayel. I think Usyk doesn't think that he's going to make a lot of money in that fight against Agit Kabayel. And therefore, he's dragging his feet, and his team are dragging their feet to make the fight. And I think this is where we are with Usyk right now. But let's jump into this article because I think it's really interesting. Now, shout out to the guys at Bad Left Hook. They put a really good article together. And as you can see here, right, the title of this article says, "Nothing personal. Usyk's team director says Kabayel offer has to be right. Retirement possible." Now, I'm going to go all the way down here because I have to highlight what I think is, good for us to read, because there's a lot that this article goes into. But as you can see here, the title says that retirement on the table for Usyk. And this is Sergey Lapen, Usyk's, manager, who's making these claims and he's having these statements, right? And he says that Oleksandr Usyk has earned the right to carefully evaluate every option. And then he says, "We're speaking with different parties considering all opportunities. A decision will be made by the end of the week and everyone will know where we stand. Clarity is coming soon." And then he goes on to clarify that, but one thing people should remember, when a fighter has achieved everything Oleksandr Usyk has achieved, every appearance becomes special. It is possible that fans have already seen him in the ring for the last time. Or maybe there is still one more chapter left. We will know very soon. So basically, Usyk's manager is basically saying that Oleksandr Usyk is on the cusp of retiring from boxing. Like, Usyk is at that stage where it's either he takes the Kabayel fight or he retires from boxing. And I think this is a conversation that, not just myself, but a lot of people in the sport have been having over the time. And since Oleksandr Usyk beat Rico Verhoeven, where people are saying Usyk just has to retire. He's 40 years old. He's beaten everyone. He's got nothing to prove. Why is he still fighting on? And then the Kabayel fight became a thing where people started asking questions because the WBC have ordered Usyk to defend his belt against Agit Kabayel. So Usyk has to fight Kabayel by any means necessary, or he has to relinquish the belt. So this is a situation where Usyk is now doubting whether he wants to fight Kabayel or he wants to, relinquish the belt and go somewhere else and do something else that he wants to do with his career. But the problem is that if Usyk does not fight Kabayel, some people are going to point fingers and go, Usyk is ducking Kabayel. If Usyk fights Kabayel, he's going to have to put up with the fact that he's not going to make the same money that he made in the Anthony Joshua fight or the Tyson Fury fight or even in the Rico Verhoeven fight. That is the reality of the situation. Kabayel, to me, I think he's a decent draw. I think Germany is definitely the right place to put this fight on because I think Kabayel has made a really good name for himself in Germany. Usyk is a global star. Everybody knows that. So Usyk versus Kabayel in Germany, I think makes most sense to put this fight on. And I think it will sell. I think it will do really good numbers. And as I said, Usyk is not going to make the same money as he did in the previous fights with the big stars, but he's going to make decent money. So Usyk has to choose. He has to choose either retire or fight Kabayel. And right now, the ball is in Usyk's court. And I think Usyk's team are trying to dance around the issue and don't want to be honest about their intentions really. And, they insinuate that if their money is right, then they'll take it. But we all know that Usyk is not going to fight Kabayel and make millions as he did against Daniel Dubois or Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. That's just the fact of the matter. So Usyk has to make a decision. But if you guys will remember, and if you've been following this channel for a long time, I made this video 4 weeks ago. And as you can see down there, it says 4 weeks ago. And I titled it, Oleksandr Usyk versus Agit Kabayel, the truth that nobody wants to admit. And in this video, I went into detail about the fact that I don't think that Usyk wanted to fight Kabayel. And the reason why I said Usyk didn't want to fight Kabayel was because of this moment. When Usyk was asked by Ade Oladipo if he wanted to face Kabayel next, after beating Rico Verhoeven in a very controversial fight where this image was taken, Usyk was not sure. Usyk said he'll fight Kabayel, he said he'll fight Rico Verhoeven. He wasn't really 100% saying that, yes, put Kabayel in there and I'll fight him right here, right now. Usyk was just, sort of doubting whether he wanted to fight Kabayel or he wanted to fight Rico Verhoeven. He just did not know exactly what he wanted to do going forward. And I picked up on that. And that's why I made that video saying that Usyk does not want to do this. And it is clear that the money is not going to be on the same level as the guys that I mentioned before. But Usyk is currently the heavyweight champion. He's currently the BBC heavyweight champion. And he has to fight Agit Kabayel or he has to relinquish the belt. So whether it is retirement or whether the money is not enough for Oleksandr Usyk to face Agit Kabayel, Usyk has to make a decision. Because for Kabayel, the decision is made already. The BBC says Kabayel should fight Usyk. The ball is in Usyk's court to make that fight happen. So I don't think that Usyk's team can dance around this forever. They have to make a decision. And that decision, of course, has to be in the best interest of Oleksandr Usyk, but also for boxing. Because the division cannot wait for Usyk to labor around and make a decision when he wants to. Usyk has a time frame that he has to make a decision whether he will fight Agit Kabayel or not. And the sooner he makes it, the better. Because if he doesn't want to fight Kabayel, just relinquish the belt. Kabayel can fight someone else for it, and that's fine. But if he really wants to fight Kabayel, then he has to put up with the fact that he's not going to make a lot of money as he did in his previous fights. Yes, he's going to make good money with Kabayel, but I don't think it's compared to the likes of Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. These are the biggest stars in boxing. So there's a difference between the paycheck between, those fights there. So Usyk has to make a decision. And this conversation about retirement, I think is near. That's the truth. The truth is that Oleksandr Usyk should be thinking about retirement because he's 40 years old. The last time he was in the ring against Rico Verhoeven, we saw that Usyk wasn't the same. His legs didn't move the way it moved a few fights ago, and he wasn't as vibrant and as energetic as he used to be. And we saw that in the ring that he was having a really difficult time against Rico Verhoeven. So the conversation about whether Usyk is retiring or he's going to continue to box, these are all things that is in Usyk's court, and he has to make the decision. Like, he cannot labor on this decision for any longer. The thing is, Usyk can relinquish all the belts and he can fight Rico Verhoeven for 10 times. I don't think anybody will care. And I think people will tune in for that because people think that Rico Verhoeven deserve a rematch. Absolutely. But what Usyk cannot do is string the division around and labor and just delay and just hold up the division. He has to make a decision. It's either he relinquishes the belt or he fight Kabayel, or better yet, he retires from boxing. So guys, get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Usyk's manager claiming that Oleksandr Usyk could retire very soon, and he has to make a decision between what he's going to do with the Agit Kabayel fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.